Hello, I'm Pam Hoffman, Everyday Spacer.
I'm Jeff Miller, 2049 Outfitters.
At Everyday Spacer, we show regular folks how to personally and directly participate in space exploration, science, and astronomy. We're here on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific Time, 12 midnight Eastern Time, and 12 noon on Saturday in Hong Kong. We're broadcasting live from Thousand Oaks, California.
Tonight's topic is, are they going to use James Webb images during NASA's next Astrophoto challenge? We'll be back in 8.3 seconds. We're revisiting two previous episodes of the Everyday Spacer show in anticipation of NASA's Astrophoto Challenge Summer 2023. Will they pick a James Webb telescope image as their target again this time? Let's find out.
In February of 2021 and July of 2021, we produced 2 episodes of our show. Let's see if I can show that. There they are. This one was about the Micro Observatory, and that's actually a really cool place that you can go and tell telescopes like Ben or Annie to go and take a picture of the topic of interest for you. And the one in July was about NASA's Astrophoto challenges. And we've learned that since then they've had a number of other ones. In fact, here is the information. I kind of was hoping we would catch the winter 2023 version, but it has ended. I've been looking, and it looks like maybe in early May we'll get to get to see another Astrophoto challenge open up for us, which would be really cool. So here's a good place to go. And would you mind showing the banners?
Oh, yeah.
That one, yeah, the top one. So this is where it is. It's basically, I think it's a conglomeration of, see where it says CFA Harvard.edu, and of course it says Observing with NASA. These telescopes, though, and you may recognize this from there, and I have them all up in tail. Let me make it a little bigger. So they've got some great information. If you want to start learning about how this works and what to do and using the tools in here, that kind of thing, so that you're ready for the version that they may be putting out for summer of 2023. And there's definitely some really cool, in fact, this is what they were talking about for the last one, Pillars of Creation. And they actually did have you incorporate like James Webb Space Telescope images. They do talk about how to do it. So follow the instructions for each of these 3 steps. You gather your own real-time telescope image. You can actually use your own images as well if you have the equipment. You do not have to have the equipment, though. You can kind of order these little robotic telescopes around. It's rather nice. So get your images, and they have the link to, well, and it's actually up here too. This is Control the Telescope. You'll see that from our previous episodes where we ran through and we worked, demonstrated how this works and did the photo taking. I actually ordered up the Pleiades and I got my image the very next day.
And that photo looks like exactly one that was used in of that remote telescope was when we were looking at the micro observatories.
So here it is. You can use your own. Use a real telescope to request your own images. Get NASA images. So there's a couple ways that these challenges go, and we're talking about image or data. Okay, so any of this stuff you can look through and read. There's some video tutorials on how to use this. We'll see that in a bigger image in just a second. But yeah, and then you submit your challenge images here. They do want you to have a Gmail account, which almost everybody has. And there's ways to share it, that kind of thing. Now, there's no real prizes involved with this particular contest, challenge, whatever you want to call it. They say NASA's Astrophoto Challenge, but sometimes we can think of them as a contest. But they will have, if you create something that sort of stands out for them, they'll have some astronomers take a look at it with you. So That could be pretty fun. And these videos will definitely explain more about what they did and so forth. I really like this part too because anyone in the world can participate. You just need an email address to receive any images you take with the Micro Observatory Robotic Telescope. They do want you to have a parent or guardian if you're a little bit younger. Then you find the detailed instructions how to participate, submit your images. Yeah, Google email. Then they could be part of this review, get some feedback from NASA scientists. Now, they talked about January 4th. Like I said, I was kind of hoping it was still active. I just happened to think about it and see a couple of our shows, and I thought, oh, I wonder what's going on with that, because it seems like these have gotten a little more sophisticated. There's a video in here that talks about how you can add in some of the images from Hubble and James Webb Telescope, and they do have like different, some are visual and some are infrared, so you can do different things with different kinds of images. And last time I actually created a PDF file to bring in all these images and show you, and I kept describing how this kind of went on. And tonight I have the live website, and you can see they have lots and lots and lots of targets for you to choose. Of course, you don't have to pick one of these. Now, they do talk about things like Jupiter's not available for this right now. If you want pictures of other things, though. And I didn't figure out what this is in red for, but see where it says observe? You could pick those.
Hover over the observe on the red one. Is it possible that it just means that it's, oh, nope, it is clickable. Okay. I thought that maybe it was saying that it wasn't available right now.
Seems like it's clickable.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm just not sure why they've kind of highlighted it like that. Unless that was, well, I guess the Eagle Nebula is where the Pillars of Creation.
Oh, yeah, so that's where the latest.
That maybe that's why they had that for the winter challenge.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so, and I think you can pick other things once you're inside the tool, but there's lots and lots of things here. It's really, really kind of cool. And if you review the video from before, we take you through choosing the target, adjusting the settings, provide your information, and submit it. They make it very, very easy and fun for you to do. So I'm just going to go kind of along. Yeah, I'm going to follow this navigation bar here, see where it control telescopes. And this one is projects and activities. And if you want to look into it deeper than just taking a picture for this particular NASA Astrophoto challenge, you could see about some other projects. And I know that they do a lot of things for students and teachers. As you can see, this is recommended for teachers of grades 5 through 12. So, yeah, they talk about the challenges in particular. Recommended for all. I love that. Oh, a log sheet. Okay, we'll have to look at that someday. Yeah, there's a PDF of that. There's lots and lots. I love how a lot of these sites have lots of possibilities for you, including like this, Astrophoto. That's pretty cool. How does my eye compare to the telescope? Actually, the eyes can be pretty good. And from the ground up, there's lots of information in here. Lots of good stuff. I love that. Well, this document is large.
The eyes have a wider field of view than the telescope does.
They do. And you'll notice if you ever take a picture of something like a total solar eclipse, your eye will capture a broader range of what's happening with that, whereas the camera can focus on one thing or the other. It won't quite look as interesting unless you compile a bunch of images, so that it does come closer to the way it looks with your eye. So yeah, lots of cool stuff there to look at. And then we move along to this training and resources, tools and training, video tutorials, lots and lots of things. And here they talk about, use the free image processing software to enhance your FITS images. Well, it must be the file format. Yeah.
Yeah. And we've seen other things that they want that fits file format.
Okay. And again, here's where you're going to have the different kinds of images. Remember, we talked about maybe it's infrared or actually just regular, the way we see things with regular light. But they have tutorials. so you can learn how to request an image, how to open it, processing. Yeah, really good stuff here. And it feels like it's a little bit more sophisticated than it used to be.
Well, combination of more sophisticated and more tools.
Okay.
Like, I remember when we first looked at it, it was a lot of fiddly bits in manipulating the images. And
there kind of still seems to be a lot of things you can dial in. Is that what you mean by fiddly?
As in, you had to install certain software. I mean, one package which you didn't have to use because there were other packages only worked on Linux.
Oh,
so,
right.
You know, so there's a lot of that stuff which, you know, a lot of science is still done on Linux, but most people don't have Linux.
That's true. That's true. So yeah, I would say if you want to participate in this next NASA's Astrophoto challenge, take a look at any and all of this stuff that seems to appeal to you and try it out. In fact, I've got this up so we can kind of look through how to use it. So welcome to, we'll take you through the steps. And it's kind of great because you can just hit next if you know how to use it, X out of there, and they'll talk to you about just the scale. You can switch between them to see what it looks like for your particular image. And they have an image here, but yeah, look at this. Here it is. Adjust the controls. Use these sliders to fine tune. And there's lots and lots of them here. Lots of these here. Brightness, low brightness, high brightness, stretch, contrast, shift, bias. And every one of those you can play around with and see what they do for your particular image. All right, let's just see what's next here. Adjust the controls. Okay, yeah.
If you can catch the tutorial window.
Well, this is right here is what they're describing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, hey Scott, welcome.
Hey,
Glad you could join us.
This might be fun for the kids as long as it is easy to use, and it looks like it is much easier to use than it was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I would say this is an easy tool to use, certainly to play around with. You know, all these things slide, or you can use the plus and minus, and you can bring in your own image. You can use one from one of the micro observatory images. It's not too hard to bring in an image of your own if you have one. Alrighty, so what do they have next? Adjust the color, and they have lots and lots of choices. I mean, these can be crazy choices, and we'll see some of the standout images in just a little bit. So choose from this list, highlight relative things, and they do talk about, you know, are you interested in making this sort of a scientific study, more like an artistic one, or some of both?
Well, yeah, because they actually, I don't know if we'll see it here, but they ask you to explain your color choices, whether it's scientific or artistic.
Well, yeah, they don't say that you have to, but they do encourage you. You know, they say definitely share your image with us and tell us why. We'd love to hear that. Oh, hello, Anthony.
Hey, Anthony.
Welcome back. Been a while since we've seen you.
Yeah.
Really glad you're here. All right, so then you want to save your image. Very definitely. I'm compulsive just about two things: locking doors and saving images. So
well, and they recommend, you know, saving it in PNG or JPEG. That's so that you can open it up in Common Apps rather than this, because I think the FITS has the different colors separated out.
Okay.
So that they can manipulate them.
All right. What else do they have? Oh, explore more. Okay, so it looks like there's some other options as well. Oh, tutorials.
Yeah, to use your own images or, yeah.
Great. I just love this concept of making stuff like this available to anyone. And you can see it if you haven't. Use this to come back to this little tutorial. There you go, Jeff.
Yep.
Go ahead and hit that if you need to see all those things once again. All right, what is next here? This is just the news and views part. So if you want to keep up with what's happening, they do have some interesting things going on for young people. I do love that very much. All right, and then here's about the micro observatory. Now, I thought there was a couple of minutes of a video I was hoping to share with you. I don't know where it went.
And yep, we lost it.
Yeah, it's here somewhere.
It's on the web somewhere.
Okay, I won't be that torturous, but I did have a tab open. I don't know what happened to it.
We'll find it, but it'll be the last place we look.
Yes. All right, and then they talk about these standout entries. And remember, if you create a standout entry, they will, first of all, put it here on this page. And as you can see, we highlight a number of standout entries from each of the past seasons of NASA's Astrophoto Challenge. Click through the image thumbnails below to read expert feedback and feedback to participants from NASA scientists. So if they choose your image, you'll get some feedback from NASA scientists. And it looks cool. Like you can actually see what that's about more there.
You know, especially if like you picked colors to outline certain things about it, you know, from a scientific standpoint, you might get some feedback about, you know, hey, you know, that's either interesting or, hey, why don't you try this instead? You know, maybe they'll give you some of that. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we could certainly try and read these. And as you can see, boy, you can get really, really colorful. So you can choose from past seasons to see standout entries. And they do have images and data challenges here. So if you prefer images, go with that one, data, or do both. They do say, you know, feel free to do both. So yeah, there's some really neat, these are considered standout. And heck, maybe you could take a look and read why. I think each one of these is clickable and you can read why they thought this was interesting for whatever reason. Now, when we did this a couple of years ago, they only had 3 of these. They had the fall, summer, and winter, just those. And I've noticed they've started to kind of zoom in on a winter one and a summer one. So with any luck, they're going to start up the summer one in just a little bit. And I'll show you why I think that in the next tab here when I move over. But they do talk about what the target is. For the fall, it was the Lagoon Nebula. The Whirlpool Nebula was summer of 2019. Winter of 2020 was M82, that galaxy. And for the summer of 2021, M87 galaxy. We watched that video from this, and Jeff made a funny joke about that in there. And I was like,
well, I couldn't be there in person, so I had to pipe up.
Oh, right. Yes, you were in Michigan that time. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. And so the summer of 22 is the Carina Nebula. And we noticed that they do not have the winter of 2023 yet. Okay. So that one has yet to be posted here in this standout entries page. But yeah, some of these are pretty darn neat. And I suspect, and I won't spoil it for you, but go ahead and click on these and see what they have to say about them. All right, what's down here? Oh, yeah, this is the NASA Data Challenge. Choose from past seasons. And they do kind of the same thing. So still very, very beautiful, amazing images. Some of them even change like this. Yeah, that was, not too many of them have done that I've seen. And they also pick, and this one was actually with the Eta Carina and the Carina Nebula. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. And you certainly can, yeah, there you go. That's pretty good. You certainly can participate even with previous ones. You can still work with NASA data from past challenges. So yeah, you can go to the archives, you'll find the images, and you can adjust them as well. You can still do that. Now, of course,
it's not part of the current challenge.
No,
but you can play.
Yeah. The current challenge was the winter 2023. It started on January 4th, and it ended on February 28th. And I know that because I went over to the Twitter page. And so they have information. There's 5 of these in North and South America teaming up. Then, and I think they use the one depending on what the target you pick. So when I picked it, it was the Pleiades, and they said, oh, your image from Annie has arrived. And that's the name of the telescope. So I came, my first thing was like, oh, is it still going? I came to the Twitter page and said, nope, February 28th was the last day for NASA's Astrophoto Challenge winter of 2023. Last day. And they had a bunch of entries about that last day, Pillars of Creation. They encourage you to use the James Webb Space Telescope imagery in your work. Now, I'm kind of thinking they may do that again. They may ask you for, because there's a lot of really neat James Webb Space Telescope images now. Let's see, let's go to some of the other things in here, because this is what's giving me the idea that we're probably going to see something, fingers crossed, for summer of 2023, because they had a bunch of these and they talked about when they were. And there's other things in here too. So, yep, look at that. Summer of 2022. So I've seen basically summer and winter now. I have a feeling they were going to try and go for all 4 seasons. It doesn't seem to have panned out that way. I'm sure these people are very busy with other things that are regular NASA work, you know, the things they normally do. But yeah, we were seeing these summer and winter over and over again. And it hasn't been happening for a real long time, but I think we are going to be seeing something for the summer. That is my guess. Oh, that's pretty cool. Let's see if I got it. Oh, this is pretty good. This might be the video because it's got Phil Lamar in it. I wonder if let's see, is that a video?
Nope, just an
image. Just a picture. Darn. I think it's the first 2 minutes of this picture. I mean, there's a video. Sorry. I think it's the first 2 minutes of this that was interesting and I was hoping to show you. So somewhere around, if you see that, and that might be it. Like I said, I love these. They got some of the pictures of the different telescopes. They don't actually tell you the name here, but they do when you get your picture back. And also, let's see, there was a big list of, in that first video, this one over here, this Micro Observatory video from February of 19th of 2021. I actually showed you where the list of images appears, and they give the names of the of the different telescopes. It's pretty fun. All right, so like I said, I just saw back and forth summer, winter, summer, winter. So I'm kind of thinking that there's going to be, bring us back.
Yep.
There's going to be a summer 2023. And my guess is they're going to pick more James Webb Space Telescope images for you to play around with, to try it out. So yeah, that's basically the idea, and definitely look at the other videos to learn about the micro observatories and NASA's Astrophoto challenges. Check out anything on those pages. But yeah, and you can absolutely use your own equipment. If you don't have your own equipment, definitely check out what they have that you can. You can use a telescope in the network.
Okay.
Oh, we can read that part.
Yeah.
We kind of said this, sorry.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we talked about the challenge getting more sophisticated, right, but also easier to do because I think the tools are better.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think they've had a couple of years to work on it. So
even if it's cloudy where you are, Cliff, you can get images from these micro observatories.
Yeah. And then some places have stuff going on all the time, like where I'm from in Northern Ohio, there's always crap in here.
If you start working with these tools now, then when the next challenge is issued, you'll be ready to get the pictures of the images from the challenge and create a standout entry, which may get you some recognition and feedback from NASA scientists.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, you don't even need equipment to participate for this one.
Yeah.
So really fun. All right, so what's next here?
Oh, some stellar events this week. April 14th through April 21st. Globe at Night is still going. It runs through April 21st of 2023. In the Southern Hemisphere, look for Crux or Leo, whichever one is better for you. And in the northern hemisphere, you're stuck with just Leo, which fine by me. Leo wins. You go out, you take pictures, you report back to the site, and pick which brightness level it looks like to use. And it does very important work looking at darkness levels of your area.
Yeah.
April 15th, the moon is at perigee, and Saturn and the moon are in conjunction, which should be a pretty good show. April 17th, Neptune and the moon are in conjunction. Not as good of a show because it's hard to see Neptune.
Yeah.
April 19th, Jupiter and the moon are in conjunction. Hey, there you go. And should be a very thin crescent because April 20th is a new moon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And an eclipse.
And I got a little bit more about that. And we found something on Facebook right before the show. So let me read this. This will be the first eclipse of the year, April 19th to 20th. Annular total eclipse of the sun. This hybrid eclipse, which is seen as annular or total, depending on viewing location along its path, is not visible from North America. Sorry. It is visible only from the southern Indian Ocean, parts of Antarctica, most of Australia, Asia, in Indonesia, Philippines, most of Oceania, and the western Pacific Ocean. And at that point, let me set up and bring me back over to this thing, Jeff.
Yeah, once you got the page up.
Yeah, hold on, let me. Yeah, here we go. All right, there it is.
Okay.
And thanks to David Dickinson, who was actually a former guest, for posting this on his Facebook page. This is sort of what you'll see in the different locations.
I guess that's as full as you'll see it.
Yeah, it's going to get pretty close to it because it seems like these, and Dave would know, he's certainly written a bunch of books on this kind of thing. This is the possibilities for which different locations. And this is what they're meaning by hybrid. Depending on where you are, it's going to be different. They do show a total. That's a total eclipse right there.
But then they show an annular too. And
Yeah.
I can't imagine that there are any two different points on the Earth where it'll be different from a total and an annular.
I'm not sure. This is the first time I had heard about a hybrid event like this. And this is sort of what I call the footprint of this eclipse. And of course, the Earth is rotating around the east, and the sun will rise over here before it's over here. So it's kind of you'll see that the path of totality going this way right through here, right through the middle. But these other places, they will have some
You'll at least get a nibble.
Yeah, there'll be parts of, and you saw the images again here. So in these places, that's probably what it's going to look like. I don't know if there's a location that we'll get, probably over the Pacific Ocean, actually.
I'll go back to that previous one. Let's see.
I think somewhere over here it's more total.
Yeah,
but I think that's probably the closest place in Australia on land,
right,
to see the most.
And then some of the islands.
You talking about up here or over here?
Yeah, up in like
here,
New Guinea and that area.
Right. Okay. Anyway, so if you happen to be in that area of the world, check it out. Where are we? Oh, you were talking about that.
Earth. Yeah. April 20th, new moon and the eclipse.
That's the 19th into the 20th.
Yeah. And the moon is in ascending mode. April 21st, Friday night show again.
Jeff had an idea.
Yeah.
Stick around. We'll tell you more about that in just a second.
Find us Fridays at 9 p.m. Pacific time on the Everyday Spacer Facebook page and the Everyday Spacer YouTube channel. And Mercury and the moon are in conjunction, so that should be a pretty good show. And Uranus and the moon are in conjunction, of which you'll see the moon and Mercury.
Right. Yeah, same night. So some other events and activities. The Space Symposium will be April 17th through 20th. That is at the Broadmoor, Colorado Springs, Colorado. It's hosted by the Space Foundation. That's spacesymposium.org. Space Education Symposium will be the very next day, Friday, April the 21st. That is online, available anywhere in the world. It does run 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific, though. And this is hosted by the Human Space Program, which is a Frank White project, and he's the overview effect guy. We do have spaceeducation.squarespace.com for that. Then the Analog Astronaut Conference 2023 is happening May 4th through 7th at Biosphere 2 in Arizona. Analog-astronaut.com is the website for that one.
I just, you must have to go in person to that one because
that one's going to be live and in person.
Right.
Yes.
Because otherwise it'd be digital astronauts.
Oh, God. You're up next. Thanks, Jeff.
If you are someone, I'm just thinking of astronauts going through a tape deck.
Sure.
If you or someone you know has done something interesting involving space exploration, science, or astronomy, we'd love to share our live. Join us again next Friday, April 21st. I want to talk about laws in space. Now, this is distinct from space law, which involves Earth laws set up by lawyers on Earth. What I want to talk about is once you're far enough out that Earth doesn't really play into it, what laws do we want to have in space?
Yeah, you don't want somebody opening your airlock and getting away with it.
Well, you know, I'm
when they're not supposed to.
I'm a Second Amendment guy, which is a gun rights guy, but you know, having a handgun inside a spacecraft just seems like a really bad idea to me. So
not very practical.
So what are your rights? What are you know, what can you do? Like putting weapons on spacecraft. Yeah, you probably makes for a bad day for people, but how do you stop it? You really can't. I mean, anything that you can throw is a weapon.
Yep.
And you can just bolt something onto your spacecraft. So that sort of thing is what I want to get into. Maybe tied more into space culture rather than space law, but we'll see where that goes. And hopefully you guys will participate a bit in it, because otherwise it's just
start thinking about.
Yeah. Otherwise it's just me yapping my face, and she gets enough of that.
I'll just give you grief. And so then we have a couple of profiles after that, and we're in talks with someone who wants to be a guest on our show, probably summer or fall, because he's attending school right now. Anything else from you?
Nope.
And if you have anything else, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for coming and joining us, Scott and Anthony. We really appreciate that. And yeah, have a great week.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll see you next Friday. Good night.